Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Carl Jung. Have you ever felt a profound, almost painful disconnect between the person you know you are destined to be and the person you see in the mirror each day? It's a sacred ache, a soul's deep yearning for its true expression. You feel a roaring fire of ambition, a universe of untapped potential swirling within your very essence, a divine blueprint waiting to be realized. Yet, despite this inner knowing, you find yourself anchored by the cold, heavy chains of inaction, as if an unseen force is holding you captive. You dream bigger, you feel deeper, and you perceive possibilities that others, in their comfortable slumber, simply miss. But still, the sun rises and sets, and you fall into the same exhausting cycles, the same lazy days that feel like a betrayal of your spirit, the same stinging disappointments that whisper you are not enough. What if I told you this isn't a flaw in your character, but a hallmark of your divine assignment? What if this immense struggle is actually a sacred sign of your immense potential, a divine trial that only the most ambitious, most sensitive souls are asked to face? This is not just another fleeting video of temporary motivation. This is a key. This is a map out of the soul's labyrinth you felt trapped within. If this deep, unsettling paradox resonates with the core of your being, let me know by typing "I am ready" in the comments below. Your affirmation is more than just words. It is a signal to the universe, a declaration to your higher self that you are prepared to receive this profound truth. Stay with me through all three parts of this transmission, because what you are about to learn will not only illuminate the hidden reason you're stuck, but it will gift you the exact spiritual blueprint to finally alchemize all of your sacred, pent-up ambition into real, lasting, and tangible change. And be sure to subscribe, because this journey of awakening we are on together is sacred, and you are not meant to walk it alone. We all know the sting of that feeling, the quiet torment of unfulfilled potential. You scroll through your phone, a digital gallery of other people's victories, or you look at the lives of those around you, and you see people who are absolutely crushing it. It feels like they are living a life that vibrates at a higher frequency, a frequency you know, deep in your bones, you are capable of reaching. A deep, quiet voice inside you, the voice of your higher self, whispers, "I have just as many ideas. My ambition burns just as bright, perhaps even brighter. Why can't I do what they do? Why does my path feel so heavy?" So, you begin the hopeful ritual. You plan, you daydream, you fill journals with magnificent, colorful visions of the future. You tell yourself, with every fiber of your being, that this week, this time, will be different. You feel the surge of alignment, the electrifying energy of a new beginning. But then, when the moment of action arrives, when it's time to take that first, crucial step off the cliff of comfort, something invisible, like a ghostly veil or a thick, heavy fog, descends upon you. An overwhelming force of resistance holds you back. Society, in its limited and superficial understanding, has a simple, cutting word for this phenomenon: laziness. Perhaps you've even wielded this word like a weapon against yourself 100 or 1,000 times, each utterance a small, painful betrayal of your true nature. You've called yourself lazy, undisciplined, a hopeless procrastinator. But you must understand this fundamental truth: you are not lazy. Carl Jung would tell you that what you are experiencing is a sacred battle within your own soul. The word laziness is not a diagnosis of your character. It is a mask, a convenient and damaging illusion we slap onto something far deeper, far more powerful. It is merely the surface tremor of a hidden, epic war raging just beneath the veil of your conscious mind. Most people never look past this surface. They never dare to question the illusion of their own perceived failings. They believe, as they have been taught, that they just need more discipline, a better morning routine, a colder shower, or a stronger dose of raw willpower. They think if they just wanted it more, if their desire was pure enough, they would magically achieve their goals. This is precisely why you can binge-watch productivity videos for hours, consuming them like spiritual junk food, feeling a temporary high of inspiration and a rush of borrowed motivation. and still find yourself utterly unable to get off the couch when the screen goes dark. You are left feeling even more depleted than before, wondering what is wrong with you. The world calls this a lack of willpower, a personal failing, but Jung calls it something else entirely. He understood the profound, counterintuitive truth that your greatest resistance is often born from the magnitude of your greatest potential. He knew that the very act of dreaming big, of setting your sights on a destiny that requires you to evolve, awakens a powerful, ancient force within your psyche. Like a cosmic archer pulling back a bowstring, the further back your resistance pulls you, the greater the potential distance your arrow is meant to travel. This is the truth that will set you free. The entirety of Carl Jung's groundbreaking, revolutionary career was a deep, courageous journey into the uncharted depths of the human psyche, and it was centered on one monumental concept: the necessity of digging up the parts of ourselves that we refuse to face, the aspects of our being that we have judged, shamed, and banished into the darkness of our unconscious mind. He gave this collection of rejected parts a name: the shadow. The shadow is the hidden self, the forgotten self, the rejected self, living just under the surface of our everyday awareness. It is the repository of everything we deem unacceptable about ourselves. Now, listen closely, with an open heart, because this is where everything begins to change. The shadow is not inherently evil, as many mistakenly believe. It is not a demon to be exorcised. It is, in its own way, a guardian. But it is a cunning and often misguided guardian, and its primary mission is a sacred, primordial one: to protect you. It holds all the fears you've never dared to speak, all the doubts you've never acknowledged, all the bad memories you've tried to bury under layers of denial, and all the stinging insecurities you pretend don't exist. It is the keeper of your deepest pain, the archivist of your every wound. And here is the mind-bending, divine paradox you must grasp. The bigger your ambition, the brighter your inner light, the longer and darker the shadow you will inevitably cast. Why does this happen? Because every time you set a monumental goal, every time you take a leap of faith risk, every time you dare to imagine a life that vibrates at a higher frequency than your current reality, your shadow feels profoundly threatened. Its sacred duty, its primordial job, is to keep you safe, to keep you within the familiar, predictable territory of what is known a realm that might be small, unfulfilling, and comfortable, but is, above all, predictable. So, when you start to dream big, when you decide to finally align with your higher self and courageously pursue your divine destiny, the shadow goes to work. It is an absolute master of sabotage. Suddenly, you feel inexplicably tired, hopelessly distracted, and overwhelmingly unsure. Every single action, even the smallest one, feels twice as heavy, a monumental, impossible effort. Your own brilliant, capable mind is hijacked by the shadow's protective agenda, and it begins to invent an endless stream of clever, logical-sounding reasons to delay, to rest, to do more research, to wait for the perfect moment, to avoid the discomfort of growth. It whispers the sweet, seductive justifications for staying exactly where you are, safe within the prison of the familiar. Think about it. Be radically honest with yourself. Reflect on how many times you have made a sincere, soul-deep decision to make a profound change, to start the business that haunts your daydreams, to heal your body and reclaim your vitality, to write the book that burns within your soul only to find yourself, just hours or days later, doing the exact opposite, lost in a haze of distraction and self-reproach. This is not weakness. This is not your destiny. This is a program, a deeply ingrained psychological defense system. It's a spiritual tug-of-war between your conscious ambition and your unconscious shadow. Your conscious mind, your soul, your ambition, cries out for expansion, for light, for a new reality. But your shadow, terrified of the unknown dangers that this change might bring, the gut-wrenching risk of failure, the sharp pain of judgment from others, or even the overwhelming burden of success, pulls you back with all its might into the familiar, comforting darkness. And until you see this war for what it is, until you make this unconscious battle fully conscious, You will always feel like you are losing. You will continue to repeat this cycle, and you will call it fate. As the great pioneer of the soul, Carl Jung, wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." But hear this now, fate is not final. It is simply the name we give to the patterns we do not yet understand and have not yet had the courage to face. So what are you really afraid of? This is the question that cuts through all the noise, all the excuses, all the illusions. It is the one question that most people, for their entire lives, will never dare to ask themselves. If you are a person of great ambition, a soul with a grand vision, but you find yourself perpetually frozen in place, never truly moving forward, you must have the courage to ask your soul this question. What are you truly, deeply scared of? Is it the public spectacle of failure and the crushing shame that you imagine might come with it? Or is it, perhaps even more terrifyingly, the blinding light of success and all the new responsibilities, expectations, and changes to your identity that it will inevitably bring? Is it the fear of being judged by others for daring to be different, for choosing a path less traveled? Is it the fear of standing out and becoming a target for envy or criticism? Or is it the crushing internal pressure that you know will come when people finally start to expect more from you, when you can no longer hide behind your potential? Understand this and let it sink into the deepest corners of your being. The shadow is not a monster trying to ruin your life. It is an ancient, wounded part of you, a forgotten inner child that is desperately trying to protect you from what it perceives as mortal threats, from pain, from embarrassment, from disappointment, from abandonment. The tragedy is that this primordial part of your psyche doesn't know the difference between the real, present danger of a saber-toothed tiger and the imagined, ego-based risk of pursuing your dreams. And every single time you listen to that hidden, whispered fear, every time you let it convince you to stay small and play it safe, you shrink a little. And every time you shrink, your shadow gets a little stronger, its grip on your life a little tighter, its voice a little louder in the quiet, vulnerable moments of your life. This is the cycle. This is the prison. But you are here, right now, because you are ready to break it. Most people will click away before this sacred truth can fully land in their hearts. They will feel the uncomfortable echo of their own experience, but will quickly turn away from the discomfort, back to the fleeting, numbing comfort of distraction and denial. They will keep living the same frustrating cycle over and over again, blaming their lack of energy, their flimsy willpower, or their supposed bad luck. They will continue to search for an external fix, a magic pill, for an internal war that they refuse to acknowledge. But you, if you have stayed with me for all three parts of this vital message, you are profoundly different. Here is what you will receive for your courage. You will finally see, with unshakable, piercing clarity, how your own unique shadow operates in your daily life. You will get Carl Jung's sacred map for making the unconscious conscious, not as a vague, abstract theory, but as a series of real, practical, actionable tools you can use starting today. And at the end of this journey, you will hold the definitive blueprint to turn your most cherished ambition into unstoppable, forward-moving action, no matter how many times you believe you have failed before. Most people will never see this. But if you do, if you truly absorb what is coming next, you are already light years ahead on your path of awakening. In the next part, I will show you exactly how to uncover and befriend your own shadow. You will learn what happens when you stop fighting yourself and start working with your hidden mind instead. If you want more than just temporary hype, if you are truly, deeply tired of feeling stuck in a loop you can't explain, do not miss the next piece of this essential puzzle. The reward you seek is waiting for you, but it is a reward reserved only for those who have the courage to finish the journey. You've probably blamed yourself for failing to follow through on your ambitions before. You've called it laziness, a crippling lack of discipline, or even lamented your supposed bad genetics. But the profound and liberating truth is that most people have never been taught how to identify the real, hidden source of their internal resistance. Carl Jung would tell you that what you call your life is often just the sum total of your unconscious habits, your shadow running the entire show from behind the scenes, pulling the strings of your reality. This isn't about weakness. It's about old, outdated survival patterns, deeply ingrained memories from childhood, and powerful, limiting beliefs that are buried so deep you don't even know they're there, dictating your every move. This is precisely why change feels so impossibly heavy. You're not just fighting a simple, surface-level habit. You are challenging the invisible, powerful force that has kept you safe and comfortable since you were a child. The very psychological system that was designed to protect you from any and all perceived threats, real or imagined. But if you truly want to do more than just try harder, if you want to create a permanent, seismic shift in your reality, you need to do what almost no one dares. You need to turn and face your shadow directly. Think back to the last time you truly, from the very bottom of your soul, wanted to change. Maybe it was transforming your physical health, building a soul-aligned business from the ground up, or finally learning a new, creative skill. Now, did you notice how quickly your mind, almost like a cunning magician, invented an endless stream of urgent distractions? Suddenly, cleaning your entire apartment, endlessly scrolling through your phone for research, or even just talking excitedly about your goals with anyone who would listen became far more important and pressing than actually taking the first, terrifying step to act on them. This is not random. This is not a coincidence. This is your shadow, your unconscious mind, vigorously defending its established territory. And why does it do this? It does this because every real change, no matter how positive or desired, is a direct threat to the established order of your comfort zone. Your shadow will fight, it will distract, and it will even punish you with sudden, overwhelming waves of anxiety, guilt, or shame, anything and everything to stop you from taking a risk and stepping into the unknown. Jung saw this exact cycle play out over and over again in his patients. People would come to him with the most grand and beautiful ambitions for their lives, but he saw that underneath all the talk, they were utterly terrified, terrified of failure, terrified of judgment, and sometimes even more terrified of the great, uncharted unknown that lies on the other side of success. And so, they would self-sabotage again and again, and tragically, they would look at this repeating pattern and call it their fate. Here's the paradox, the hidden sacred secret that almost nobody ever talks about. Every single one of your stuck habits, every one of your patterns of procrastination, gives you something in return. There is always a hidden payoff, even if it's just the temporary, fleeting relief of avoidance. Staying in bed all day, for instance, means you don't have to face the world's crushing expectations. Not starting that big, ambitious project means you never have to risk the profound sting of it failing. Not asking for what you truly want in a relationship or in your career means you never have to face the sharp pain of rejection. Your shadow will always offer you the seductive illusion of safety. It constantly whispers, you can change tomorrow, but tomorrow never truly comes. It can't, not until you finally name what you're truly getting from your old, self-limiting patterns. You will never escape them until you understand their hidden, protective purpose. That's precisely why Jung believed so deeply in the power of radical self-honesty, even, and especially, when it hurts. Most people will never slow down long enough to have this crucial conversation with themselves, to truly listen to what their inner resistance is desperately trying to say. But Jung taught that if you want to create real, lasting, and meaningful change, you must learn to bring the shadow out of hiding, not by force, not by shaming it into submission, but by a gentle, courageous, and compassionate conversation. So, I invite you to try this tonight. Sit somewhere quiet and peaceful, and imagine that you are talking to the part of you that always finds a reason not to start, the part that always pulls you back into the deceptive comfort of inaction. Ask it, with genuine curiosity and without judgment, what are you so afraid will happen if I actually succeed? And then, simply listen. Be still and allow the answer to come, even if it sounds silly, or angry, or completely irrational. Often, the shadow will reveal old, unhealed wounds, forgotten moments from your past where you were laughed at, severely criticized, or made to feel utterly alone. Sometimes, the fear it reveals is a deep-seated fear of success itself, and the new, unknown responsibilities that will inevitably come with it. Sometimes, it's the heart-wrenching fear that if you finally go after what you truly want, you'll lose the people, the friends, the family, who only love the old you. This is not weakness. This is just old pain, masquerading as procrastination or fatigue. But once you hear the story, once you understand its sacred origin, you can finally begin to change it. Most people instinctively try to shame or bully themselves into action. They use guilt, harsh self-criticism, and aggressive, no excuses slogans as their primary weapons. But Jung knew, with profound certainty, that this approach almost always fails, because you simply cannot hate your way into growth. You cannot shame yourself into a higher, more aligned vibration. Instead, he taught the path of radical self-acceptance. This doesn't mean accepting failure forever. It means accepting that your mind, in its own complex and beautiful way, is always trying to protect you, even when its methods ultimately get in your way. When you can finally accept your shadow, when you can bring your deepest fear, your so-called laziness, or your crippling self-doubt into the healing light of your conscious awareness, it begins to lose its immense power to control you from the dark. Suddenly, you're not wasting precious, vital energy on self-blame and endless internal conflict. You are free to use that reclaimed energy for something new, for courageously building the life you were always destined to live. You don't have to win the entire epic war against your shadow in a single day. Jung knew that real, sustainable, and lasting change starts with the tiniest, most honest step forward. So, if you feel stuck and overwhelmed, don't try to set impossible, grandiose goals that your shadow will immediately and cunningly sabotage. Instead, I challenge you to commit to doing just one small, manageable thing. Send the one email you've been putting off. Take a single 5-minute walk outside in nature. Speak your vulnerable truth, honestly and openly, to one person you trust completely. Then, simply notice how your shadow reacts. Does it resist with all its might? Does it try to bargain and make deals? Does its voice of doubt get louder? Don't fight it. Just notice it. With every small, courageous, honest step you take, the shadow's powerful grip loosens a little more. Its fearful voice gets a little quieter. This isn't just a theory. This is how real people, with real, deep struggles, have been changing their lives for generations. This is the sacred beginning of true, authentic transformation. Here is your reward for staying on this profound journey with me. The blueprint for turning your precious insight into unstoppable action. A process that is real, practical, and proven by the deepest, most insightful work of Carl Jung. 1. Name your shadow. Tonight, take out a journal and, with complete honesty, write down what your laziness or your procrastination is truly protecting you from. Is it a deep-seated fear of failure, a fear of judgment from others, or even a fear of success? Don't judge the answer, no matter what it is. Just see it for what it is. 2. Choose a small daily action. Remember, this is not a huge, life-altering leap. This is one tiny, manageable thing that moves you forward. Just one. 3. Track your progress honestly. Every single evening, in that same journal, note your action and the resistance you felt. What did you do? What excuses did your shadow offer you? 4. Share your truth. Find someone you trust implicitly, or a safe, supportive community, and share your sacred journey. 5. Expect setbacks, but always return. When you fail, and you will, simply start again the very next day. Never, ever, let shame have the last, final word. Do this for 3 weeks, just 3 weeks, and watch what happens. You will notice the shadow, slowly but surely, losing its grip. Your so-called lazy days will become rarer. Your authentic confidence will grow, not from fleeting, external hype, but from the deep, quiet, and unshakable well of self-trust. Most people will never finish this journey. They will watch half of a video like this, save another motivational tip, and keep waiting for the magic, external moment that will never come. But you, if you've stayed with me to the very end, you have already proven that you want the truth more than you want the illusion of comfort. Carl Jung believed that those who dare to face themselves, who dare to courageously integrate their shadow, become the rarest, most powerful kind of person on this planet. They stop living someone else's pre-written script, and they finally start writing their own. The world desperately needs more people like that. The world needs you awake, honest, and courageously moving forward. If this series of sacred insights spoke to you, if you felt that powerful spark of recognition deep within your soul, here is your final, transformative challenge. Share in the comments below what your shadow has been telling you, or what one small, honest action you will commit to taking today. Let's support each other in this sacred space. Let's create a community where honesty is celebrated and true transformation is not just possible, but absolutely inevitable. And if you want more deep dive videos that go far beyond the surface level hype and give you real, actionable tools for your spiritual journey, hit subscribe and join this sacred, evolving community. Thank you for watching. Your new story, your true story, starts now.